We've known for a long time that Liverpool were going to be Premier League champions this season. The dust is finally settling on that campaign, on their fantastic achievement. And Colin, we can begin to look back at the African contribution to their success. Two players stand head and shoulders above everyone else. Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mané. People will look back at this season. They will remember their achievements. They will remember their contribution. But which of the two has stood out for you?
Well, I believe I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's been Sadio Mané. Look, over the past, 3-4 seasons, I've seen some great consistency with him. He's not just an individual player, he's a team player. He makes others around him much better. He scores goals, he assists goals, he works hard, he tracks back, he does just about everything you want him to do. And to add to that, he's a very, very humble man. So I think that, look, I'll definitely, every day of the week, twice on Sundays, I'll go with Sadio Mané.
If you look at the pure numbers, though, I mean, in terms of goals, in terms of assists, Salah edges both of those categories. 19 goals, 10 assists. Plus, I would say that during some of Liverpool's trickier games, during some of their rockier periods, against the tough games, against some of the big teams, it was Salah who stepped up. It was Salah who was there with those big goals. Liverpool, for some of the season, they weren't blowing teams away 3-0, 4-0. There were a lot of cagey victories. There were some 1-0 triumphs. And often it was Salah who was there making the difference. Still, even though defenders have had time to learn how to deal with this player, there are so many occasions where defenders just seem to not know how to deal with him. They can't deal with that pace. They can't deal with that movement. And I think Salah deserves immense credit for the consistency he's shown in his 3 seasons at Liverpool. I saw a photo recently that he posted on his Instagram where Salah was with his wife holding one of his daughters. Another daughter was by his feet. And in front of him, there was the Club World Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. And I don't think there's any player who's had as big an impact, as big an imprint on those 3 successes as Mohamed Salah. He's the man who's transformed Liverpool from also-rans, in my opinion, since his arrival, to the champions, the conquering champions they are today.
Oh, yeah, look, I don't disagree with you. Look, going forward, you need a game changer, unpredictable game changer like Salah. But at the same time, don't forget how hard Sadio Mané works. You see him everywhere. You see him in the middle. You see him at the back. He's tracking back all the time. He's making goal line clearances. He's going back in the middle to win balls. He's going up front to press. So yeah, look, we're not arguing about whether one is better than the other. I just think that, for me, overall all-round contribution, I like what Sadio Mané brings to the table.
Something that struck me about these two as well is that they are relative late bloomers. Obviously, they achieved success, Salah in Switzerland, Mané in Austria, but they're relatively late arriving at a European giant at Liverpool. And I think there's that real hunger. We've seen it from them these last 2 seasons. We've seen it again this season. There's that real hunger to leave a legacy, to match up to what we've seen before from the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure in Europe, and to really bring home that major silverware. There's talk about the two of them leaving Anfield. Obviously, Real Madrid have been linked to both. If Liverpool had to lose one, they've got to lose one. You can't choose to keep them both. You've got to lose one. Which one would you allow to depart?
That's going to be tough. Look, at the end of the day, you have to look at the one that, would bring more money, and if Madrid put the money on the table, then you've got to look at it and think, okay, where's the one? Who would I let go? I think it's a tough one to answer. But you know what? Just in keeping with this whole thread and keeping, I wouldn't want to lose either of them. But maybe, just maybe, I'd say, let Salah go. Keep money.
Wow, that was painful, but thank you for that anyway. Looking forward, this Liverpool team, they've achieved great success last season, this season. Obviously, they will be looking to build a dynasty. Graham Souness has talked about this team being successful over the next decade with the blueprint they've established. Salah, Mané, both in their late 20s. We don't know how long they'll be around for. But do you think someone like Naby Keita, who's begun to make his mark at Anfield, do you think he's someone who can stick around and be a key building block of the next 3-5 years on Merseyside?
Oh yeah, we've seen him come on and do some really good things. I think that, Liverpool don't need to let too many players go. What they need to do is add to the squad. They've not been lucky. They've worked hard. They've had a great season. They've walked the league. won it by 18 points. So at this point, I don't think that they need to let anybody go. What they need to do is strengthen the squad, and the likes of Naby Keita would be key to that building that dynasty going forward.
Yeah, I'm a really big Naby Keita fan. I love these all-action midfield players who can equally destroy, but they're also technically proficient. Edgar David's one of my favourite players of all time, and I see a bit of Edgar David's in Naby Keita, the way he drives through. And I think there are very few players like that who can just change the complexion of a match in a split second. And I think that Keita, he showed in Leipzig he can do that. I think we see glimpses of it in the Premier League, particularly before he got injured last season. I remember he was really coming into his own, and I really hope he stays. I hope we see him able to get that regular playing time in order to really show what he can do. And then finally, Joel Matip. He's someone who's not played as much as the other three. We've seen Dejan Lovren leave for Zenit St. Petersburg. If you're Joel Matip, do you stay? Do you remain as a backup option at Liverpool, or do you seek a new opportunity elsewhere?
Look, you're in a team that has made history, a team that might make even more history, and you're a player who believes that you can play at the highest levels. I don't think that Joel Matip should be thinking of going anywhere. Liverpool compete regularly in the Champions League, compete regularly and win the Europa League. They compete in the FA Cup, and now they've just won the Premier League. So, I mean, I don't see anywhere else that Joel Matip would go that he would compete for all of this at the same level. The big clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and so on, are already stacked more or less. So if you're going to stay anywhere and compete, then you might as well stay at Liverpool.
And finally, you and I have talked in the past about the great African contributions to title-winning teams. You look at Yaya Toure at Manchester City, what he achieved. You look at Lauren, Kolo Toure, Kanu with the Invincibles. Also, that fantastic Chelsea team, Didier Drogba, John Mikel, Michael Essien. Where do you think this Liverpool side, and particularly the African contribution to this success, ranks with those other fine sides?
Oh, it's got to be top three for me. And if you look at it, it's not just the two of them. I mean, we've got like 5 African players. You've got, or at least players of African origin. You've got Salah, you've got Mané, you've got Divock Origi, even though he's Belgium, still Kenyan. You've got Naby Keita, you've got Joel Matip. So there really is an African spine to this Liverpool triumph, and that's what makes it just so special to the African continent.
No love for Quinton Fortune's contributions to Manchester United's title-winning seasons?
Like I said, Quinton Fortune was really a big part player. But look, this Liverpool side, look, it's interesting. You look at Arsenal, you look at Chelsea, you look at Liverpool. They've won the title with a spine of African players. I think the only club that really hasn't had that much of an African contribution to the title wins has got to be Manchester United. But otherwise, every other team that has won it, at least the big teams, have done that using a core spine of African players.
Of course, Riyad Mahrez with Leicester City as well deserves a big mention there.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.